Yep, we are online now. Hello, guys. Good evening. How are you doing today? I hope life is treating you well. So we are here again with Jubia and Ebenezer. We got some new members, new members, but they didn't appear here. So we are gonna start just with three. This is the moment that we have on our community where we put in practice our English skills, our English knowledge. We try to do it 100% in English. However, if we forget some words or some expressions, there is no problem to use it in Portuguese or even in Spanish. We are not here in order to compare our English process. We are here just in order to grow together. So that's why we don't have teachers here. We are all students and we try to hone our English skills, as I already said, all together. Since we don't have new members today, I believe that we can skip the first question, that is the self presentation. Today's topic is why English. I believe that it's important to recap or to remember why we are starting or why we are trying to improve it. Because I believe that having a reason it's powerful in order to stay motivated or stay I forgot the word. But yeah, motivated is the one that I'm gonna stay with it. Okay, so let's move to the question directly to the question number one. So I'm gonna start with you, Ebenezer. Could you please read the first question and answer it?
Yeah. Well, it says, why did you decide to learn English in first place? Well, I think that English is present at least for me in the curriculum of any schools. We in my case, when I was at school, we used to pass English at least once a week. But now I know that there are schools that they have English every single day, that I consider really good. And English as a subject, it's present at least in the major part of the world. It's more common that you can travel to another country, and it's easier to find people that speak English. So I don't know if I just decide to learn. It's like a part of life nowadays. What I decide is just to take extra classes, not keep with the English classes that I had at school. I used to have extra English classes that I consider was more the decision of my parents than mine, but I do really appreciate now. But I consider as a part of life, English is part of life, part of the like a common language that we can speak in the world, or in the world.
Thank you so much, Ebenezer. It's great to know that you had the influence of your parents to start learning this language. And as I just said, it's like a common language that it doesn't matter where you are, you will find always one person who speaks English. And yeah, and for sure it impacted your career positively. So, but we're going to talk about that later. Thank you so much for sharing your insight. Jubia, what about you? Do you remember why did you decide to learn English in the first place?
I decided to learn English when I was at school. At school, I learned Spanish, just the basics. But I wanted to understand English because always like to listen to songs, to watch movies, and I wanted to understand what I was seeing or what I was listening. And And now I want to learn English, to talk in English, because I I see maybe I will have more job opportunities when I can talk in English and understand English too. I want to travel the world, and it's more easier. It's easier when you can speak at least English, to have communication with, if we, someone.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I want to have a job and to travel, and I think English I will have the opportunity to make my dream true
Mm-hmm.
if I learn English like in advanced way.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe that all of you are almost there because I can see your progress. I remember the first time that we met, and I'm pretty sure that when you compare your current English with the first time that you participated on this kind of sessions, I'm pretty sure that you feel the difference, and because that happens to me. So yeah, and it's pretty interesting that you started like learning Spanish at the school. I believe that nowadays here in Brazil, Spanish is not mandatory in school. English, yeah, I know. However, I believe that before there was the option, the chance to learn Spanish as well. But English, it has become like the mandatory one nowadays. Thank you so much for sharing again, Jubia. Well, in my case, um, I don't consider that I decided it when I was younger, like when I was in the high school or in the on even in the university. Obviously, I had the subjects of English. However, the English level or the English level that we got at school or at university, it was not enough. I believe it is the same case for almost for everybody. Unless you get into an bilingual school, as Ebenezer said, nowadays there are a lot of them. I believe the only way that you can, I'm not sure if the only way, but I believe that it can benefit you. And perhaps when you finish your high school, you finish and you finish your high school with a good English level. However, it wasn't my case, and I remember that I didn't like English at all. That was something that I believe that I was not that it was not something for me. So I started learning or studying like seriously when I was like 24 years old. I remember that I got like it wasn't a scholarship. I don't know how to say it, but my work they offered me like a percent of a course. So they paid the 70% of my course, and I paid the 30%, and I took advantage of that benefit. And that was the moment I started studying English like seriously. And I remember that when I finished the course, I couldn't speak at all. It was like 2 years classes. However, when I finished that, I was not able to speak. But then, when I wanted to impulse my career, that was the moment that I really started like doing it myself, and I believe that was the moment that I started improving it. I started seeing big differences in that. But it was like when I was already 28, 29. So I believe that was specific moment was the moment I said, okay, let's do it seriously because I need it for my work, for traveling as well. So yeah, that was the moment that I started improving it. So let's move to the next question. Jubia, could you please read the second one and answer it?
Yes. If you could speak English fluently tomorrow, how would your life change? I think if my English could be fluently tomorrow, maybe I could apply for more job opportunities for for work if, to work for companies of, I don't know, the from the US or from Europe. I think I could be more, I don't know how to say, it's not more confident. I think I feel more confident to apply for more job opportunities, and I don't know, maybe if I see someone talking in English, I could feel more comfortable to talk in English. I am shy, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy to talk to someone in
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese, and in English it could be more difficult. But
Mm-hmm.
if my language was more fluently, I could feel more confident to have job opportunities or talk with someone in English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am pretty sure that it would increase your confidence. And the first thing that, as you said, it would be like applying for more job opportunities that requires like a high English level. Yeah, I believe I would do the same. Thank you so much, Julio, for sharing. Benicio, what about you? If you could, if you would wake up tomorrow and your English would be like pretty good, what would you do?
Well, I think it could be a good miracle. But I think there are many opportunities can be enabled for me. Like as Rubia said, applying for different jobs and maybe travel abroad or studying. Of course, why not? I think studying, making a master's degree or something like that, that could be in that are more of the in more of the cases the English level that you have to get is it's very advanced. So if your English level it's like a fluently, I think that could the studying will be more not more easier, but I think more comfortable for someone who is not native. Um, yeah, I really would like to maybe apply for a for some for somewhere that English is a must, and maybe studying too. Look for something to study that is all in English. I think that the fluence could be a powerful tool for someone who wants to upgrade career or any different uh, how can I say? It depends of what are you looking for in any case of your life.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much, Benicio. And yeah, I believe that all of us, the first thing that we do perhaps is sending our CV with a C2 level stamps over there. And for sure, we will have more opportunities, perhaps more recruiters accepting our requests. Another thing, the first thing that, in my case, what I would do I imagine that if I speak like English fluently, it means that my grammar is okay as well. So I believe that the first thing I would say I would do would be taking an English proficiency test, like IELTS or yeah, like IELTS that is recognized in many countries. Uh, I believe in my case is the first thing that I would do because I have been preparing myself for that test. I stopped for a while because our plans changed a little bit here at home. However, the last year I was still preparing myself, and it was pretty painful because those kind of tests are really difficult, and I believe that if I would speak English or my English would be in that level, the first thing that I would do would be taking the test, in order to study abroad, or perhaps finding a new job opportunity that requires a high English level. So yeah, another thing that I would do, let me see. I think that perhaps I could teach English in some way. Um, yeah, I believe it will be like a different way to have incomes. So yeah, perhaps it's a way that I will use my English skills. And that's it. I believe that we agree with some of the ways that we would use our English skills. So let's move on to the question number three. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing. And the question number three. Let me see here. I'm gonna be the one who is gonna read it. What motivates you to continue learning English when progress feels slow? Well, I want to start with this one. I believe my dreams and the dreams that we have with my wife are those who motivate me to continue. We always wanted, or we always had the dream that was moving abroad, living in another continent, even in an English speaking country. That's something, it's something that we would like to do, or and one experience that we would like to have. As well, like finding there is something that I always wanted to do, is as well working for a multinational company where I could use my English indeed. For example, nowadays I don't use my English at all at work. I speak Portuguese and Spanish at work. As a matter of fact, I speak more Spanish than Portuguese because all of my colleagues are Latinos. So yeah, I believe that it's something that I would like to do. Use combine my English skills, or all of this progress I've made so far with my career, and make my career like not better, but perhaps getting a salary rise, or perhaps a better salary in another company. So it's something that I motivates me. And that's it about me. Benicer, what about you?
Yeah, what motivates me about English is that I think I was thinking about my native language, like Spanish, and I when I think that I know Spanish because I have born in a native Spanish speaking. I can say that I know that in Spanish there are a lot of new words or new expression that could be that I didn't know. So I think that's why keep learning English motivates me, because there is not a top of learning. I think we could continue learning a little bit more. Like in this case, there are of course we are going to get a new word, new expressions that can reach our speaking. So what motivates me, it's like uh, when I have to speak English for any reason. Today we are working for in a product that it's in all in different parts of the world. And one day I participated in a Zoom with a guy in Taiwan that he speaks English. So I really felt motivated because I could understand what this guy was speaking, and trying to getting better in English motivates me more, because this is a tool that maybe in different cases gonna be useful for you, and you will be prepared for that moment when it's the opportunity.
I'm pretty sure that experience that you had talking with that guy from Taiwan was pretty meaningful, because I believe that those kind of real experiences, it makes us feel more motivated to continue, and we feel that we are capable to do things that perhaps we didn't think before. So yeah, I believe that was a good chance that you had to expose yourself and show them that you can do it. So thanks so much, Ebenezer. Hubia, what about you? Question number 3.
Um, what motivates me when progress feels slow? I am thinking about when for example, I am listen a song, and a song that I know like 10 years or not now, and I listen this song again and I understand what they are singing. I When this kind of thing happened to me, I really feel happy, because for me sometimes it's hard to understand what they are talking when they are talking very fast. And when I can understand, I feel more motivated, and I and when I am watching something too, and I don't have to use the subs, I really feel happy when I can understand something that, I don't know, 2 years ago I didn't understand. I feel the progress when something like this happens. Um, Even if I don't see the big progress, when these kind of things happen, I feel I feel um, I feel happy. I feel proud. It's good.
Yeah, pretty feeling proud of ourselves. It's something really special. Even more when we discover or we find out that we have made a bit of progress. It doesn't even matter if it's something small or it's something big. I believe that feeling of accomplishing the things that we were working a lot to achieve, it's something important. Thank you so much, Hubia. And let me see here. Let's move on to the next question. Hubia, could you please continue with the question number 4 and answer it?
What has been the biggest challenge in your English learning journey? Journey. to me, the biggest challenge was talk, because I am shy. I had the fear of say something wrong. And when I was at English classes, sometimes the teacher was um, like they when we have a mistake, say something, they are not cool with us sending the feedback about how we say something. And I think today it's easier, but I think grammar in English is a little difficult too. When I start studying English, it was really hard to me. In Portuguese, I was really good at school,
Hmm.
but in grammar, but
Hmm.
in English, no. Don't know why. In Spanish, I was good too, but in English, no. Yeah, okay, I'm okay with it now.
Thanks so much, Juvia. And it's curious because you mentioned that you were good at Spanish grammar, and from my view, Spanish grammar or even Portuguese grammar is even more difficult than English. And it was just these 2 last years that I no, and it was not something that I discovered, but it's something I felt while I was trying to write, do my essays. It was the moment that I said, "No, it's that's true that English is not more difficult than Spanish in the grammar part." So it's curious. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Juvia, for sharing. What about you, Ebenezer? Do you remember the challenges that you have faced so far in your English learning process?
Yeah, I think the first place for me it's speaking. The second one is listening because it's difficult for me, that switching your mind to English. In some cases, try to not translate in your mind to speak English. So, because in English we have different expression, in Spanish are different expression, and of course in Portuguese occurs too. Because in some cases I try to speak something in Spanish and I translate it in Portuguese, and in some cases they don't get it, so I have to speak in a different way. So, that is one of my more the challenge that I want to to get it better. But I know practicing, listening, reading, gonna reach my vocabulary. And movies, I think movies are a good tool for to get expression, how natives speaks with another in different ways. They in some cases they are not so formal as we learn in grammar. We learn grammar and it's very formal, but in a real world uh, they speak differently. So for me, speaking always was a different a challenge. It's like a road to get the fluence, but yeah, I still trying to not or trying to express better or switch it to English and not and stop thinking in Spanish a different language.
Thanks so much, Ebenezer. And I'm pretty sure that we all are gonna agree that the most difficult part when we start it's speaking. I believe that we start when we start like learning the verb to be, how to conjugate the verbs in the present. Doing that with your hand and in your book, it's easier than speaking. Yeah, and so I faced the same at the beginning. So, and another thing that I would like to bring to the table is that I believe that overcoming that mindset that I was not good at English, it was something that I had to break in the past, and I believe that that process was painful because I always grew up with thinking that I was not good at English, and perhaps it was something that I wouldn't be I would never done like being here speaking with you or communicating with natives that I already had the chance. So I believe those were the main challenges when I started. But moving to another like point in my life, like nowadays, I believe that it's a challenge to be here and trying to lead this kind of conversation because sometimes I feel nervous. I don't find the words, and it's even more like there is even more pressure because we are on YouTube, and sometimes I check or recheck the recording that we made perhaps some weeks ago, and it's painful to watch this sometimes, but there are sometimes as well that I feel pretty happy because I was like speaking fluently. So yeah, I believe that those are the main challenges nowadays for me. Another one is speaking in public. Nowadays, I am part of a Adventist church, an international Adventist church, and there are sometimes that the presentation of the service is on me, and I have to stand in front of all of the audience and start speaking, and it's pretty difficult to me. I am trying to learn more about experts. I am reading books about public speaking, and yeah, it's something that I am trying to improve as well. Because here at home from online, it's completely different than speaking in public. Yeah, and that's it about me. So let's move on to the next question. Who was the last who read the question number 4?
Me.
Okay, thanks so much. I always forget who was the last one. Thank you so much. Ebenezer, go ahead, please. The question number 5.
Okay, it says, "Have you ever felt like giving up? What happened?" Yeah, yeah. It's like in the beginning when you started learning English, it's like easier. Verb to be, past tense, and all the beginning. It's like it's easier. But I remember when I failed my first test, and it was listening, and in that moment I felt that English wasn't for me, be, because I couldn't answer. I don't know if it was like 30 questions, and I answered just 15, something like that, and I failed. And I really feel that English is not for me, and I'm not going to do it anymore. So I stopped studying English. But I I start to listening more English, like music, or in some cases I had the opportunity to have friends that were native, and when I start to to be in contact with them, I I I I could see that I can my ear was like catching more the way that they speak, and that make me feel more optimistic about English. For that case, for that experience, I like retry to learn English, or retry to give another chance to improve my listening.
Yeah, and I can feel you about like failing at exams. Eh, it's pretty. It's something bad. It's a bad feeling, and even more in those kind of tests that where you can fill up the blank, or you can choose the correct answer. Yeah, it's painful. I know. Thanks so much, Ebenezer. And one thing that you said about surrounding yourself by, you had the chance to surround yourself by natives. It was a good opportunity to you to perhaps to understand more, to catch more words, more expressions, and yeah, I'm sure that you that was a game changing moment that you had in your English journey. Thank you so much again. Jubia, what about you? The question number 5.
Well, I felt like giving up when I was at school. I had to stop going to English classes. It was outside the school because I didn't have money to continuing, because I have to focus on my studies, because I wanted to enter the federal university from my city, here from my city. Um, I had to giving up on these times. It was really hard to me, because I like it to go to the classes and learning more day by day. Um, and I always think that one day I could start study again, and here I am now. And I feel really good when I study English, and I also understand when I can't continue in study.
Hmm.
Sometimes we have to stop because life is a box of surprises.
Hmm. Hmm. Thank you so much, Jubia. And yeah, as you said, you all have to be proud of your progress, because I can see how hard you are trying, and as well I can see how far you've got in your English journey. So thank you so much again for sharing. Well, in my case, as I mentioned before, the first 2 years that I was studying seriously, it was when I was already working. So I was 24, 25, and that moment was pretty tough to learn English, because my classes, they were intensive. So I had 3 hour classes after my work, and I lived like 3 hours by car from my home to my desk. So imagine, I had to commute for 3 hours first, work at my desk for 8 hours, and after that going to my English classes for 3 hours. So it was really really tough. I believe that was the reason as well why I couldn't like catch or perhaps absorb all of that English knowledge at that moment. So obviously there were some modules that I couldn't pass, and those that I felt in those moments were when I said, okay, it's not for me, or perhaps not today, But at the same moment, I thought, oh, but when? So if I give up today, when I am going to do it? So yeah, those days, those 2 days, sorry, those 2 years were really tough. But those 2 days, 2 years, sorry, it gave me the fundamentals or the English basis about the grammar structure, simple present, past perfect, all of that structure kept in my mind, and consequently, in some years later, like really putting my English in practice, I would believe that those 2 years helped me so much. And that's it about me. Thank you guys for sharing your experiences and your life as well. And let's move on to the next question. Who was the last who read the question number 5?
I think me.
Okay. Okay. I want to continue with the sixth one. Okay. Uh, what skills are the hardest for you? Speaking, listening, reading, or writing, and why? I believe that some of us already mentioned some of them, but I want to skip this one because some of us already mentioned a little bit of this. So let's move on to the question number 7. Okay. Question number 7. What was your first important milestone in English? It's an interesting one. Jubia, what about you? Do you remember your first milestone or something that you consider one of your most important milestone when you were starting?
Mm, to me, when I start learning, I think I remember when my my brother lived with me and my mom, and we start to talk in English when we are at home to absorb the classes content.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it was really uh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was really uh, good moments.
Thank you so much, Jubia. Now it's your turn, Ebenezer. What about you? Do you remember, or if you could bring to the table one milestone in your English journey?
Yeah, it was when I finished the school. I applied for a college. So they were asking for a minimum grade of English. So I had to take the TOEFL test. I remember that I have preparing myself for 2 months, I think, resolving it, different kind of TOEFL exercises. I really think that I'm not gonna get it, but in that moment, the TOEFL exam made in by computer based, it was like they didn't ask for speaking skill,
Mm-hmm.
so that
Mm-hmm.
was a good point in that case, in that play. But I could have the minimum grade to enter for the college. For any reason, I couldn't continue my appliance, but in that moment, I really feel very very happy that I could got the grade for that to apply. So I think that was a good moment to think that I have learned a little bit about English, and that was encouraged for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure how happy you felt when you passed your test, because as I said, those kind of tests are really difficult from my point of view. Perhaps for some, it is not like that, but at least for me, it's something that I still feel afraid of. So, in my case, I believe that the most important, no, it's not the most important, but the first important milestone, it was was passing my first English interview, job interview in English. Even though it was a disaster because my English was not good enough. I remember that I freezed and I couldn't express myself, and I couldn't like I was mixing a lot of Spanish with English at that time. But even though it was bad, it was one of my first milestone, and that has driven me to keep going and continue giving interviews at the point that I was able to answer all of the questions and express myself like without like not too with too many problems. So I believe that it was my start point, and nowadays it's thanks for to that moment that was pretty embarrassing, that I nowadays I am able to pass English interviews. So it's important to recognize those milestones, even though they were not like big milestones. Like in my case, it wasn't like that. However, it was the start of my English journey in that context. Okay, guys, we still have 10 minutes. I believe that we can tackle perhaps one or two more questions. I'm gonna ask to Hubia. Could you please choose one question from 8 to 15?
Okay. Uh, what learning strategies have worked best for you? For me, I really saw a um, big progress when I start to go to conversation classes in English, because for years on my English classes we didn't talk English. We talk like words, but we didn't have had conversations in English. And now I see how important is to have conversations, not only study things like grammar, but have conversations. I To me it's something that I I think everyone could do.
Yeah, it's as you said, it's crucial to put it in practice, not only focus on the theoretical part of the language, in this case English, but also focusing on the real using of it, participating on these sessions. It's a way that we can put it in practice. So yeah, and that's the moment that you connect what you studied with how it is in real life. So yeah, it's crucial to improve your English skills. Thank you, Jubia and Ebenezer. What about you? What method or technique do you consider is the most that works the most for you?
Well, I think this kind of session it's very helpful for me because speaking like we have a little is a part of time that we can try to switch your mind in English, try to speak English, try uh, to to use new vocabulary, and shadowing it's a good one. I really in a few years I saw something about this. It's like good to like a little. It's interesting because it's like the method that a little child is trying to learn the language, shadowing, Um, and it for me, I have an application that they they show you like a piece of an article, and you have to start reading, and this is like scrolling down, and you have to start reading like a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
That uh, make me practice more about thinking the word in my mind, or how this is pronounced in a faster way. In my case, for are those the
Mm-hmm.
important that have helped me.
Shadowing is an interesting way to learn or to acquire a language. As you said, as a matter of fact, it is the way that children they learn a language. It's like trying to imitate others and try to get the sounds and to make the same sound. And it's a good strategy and a method that I currently use. I put an English podcast or something on YouTube with English native speaker. And when there is an expression or a word that perhaps I don't feel sure about how it is pronounced, I do the same after that person, and I repeat it like 2 or 3 times. So it's the way that I try to improve my pronunciation as well. So yeah, another one. Let me see. I believe that input is important when you start, because if you don't know the sound, if you don't know the language in a context that you don't know it, like the sounds, it's like impossible to try to understand it on books, or even understanding the reading, because you need to know the sounds, the combination of the vowels or the consonants, or the pauses that people uses. I believe that it's important to have or to try a lot of input before you start, like starting studying in fact the language. So otherwise it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. So nowadays I listen a lot, or even when I am working, as I work at home. I don't listen to music. I listen to podcasts. So when I have like a free time, like 3 or 5 minutes, I focus on the podcast, and start absorbing new expressions, new words, or just the way that they speak. So it's a lot of input, listening a lot. It's something, a method that works well for me. And that's it, guys, about today's topic. We don't have more time to tackle one more question. And it's important to do this last time, that is the feedback moment. And it's the moment that we express how it was for us, the experience on this session. If we learned something new, a new expression, it's the time that we can share it. So I want to start with you, Hubia. I would like to know from you how it was for you, and if you learned something new this evening.
It was really good to be here again, and the topic was really nice too, because we can think about the reason why we are here and our progress learning the language, and and that's it. I learned today from you guys too, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Julio, for being here. And as you said, it's important to remember the reason why we started. having like a moment to reflect about our journey, because I'm sure that we all have had so far a long journey, and maybe its journey it's not gonna end. It's gonna never end, because learning a new language is something. It's in that way. It's something that we will keep studying if we want to maintain our English level. And that's it. Thank you so much, Jubia and Ebenezer. Let us know how your experience was today.
Yeah, I really appreciate the experience. I think this topic talks about why we are here every single Monday, or at
Mhm.
least the Mondays that I can participate, and say how important is English for us, and for any situation that could be, of course, going to be uh, a good tool. So thank you very much. One of the words that I really that I really like, it's milestone. It's not the first time that has been mentioned in the session. I think that we have talked about that word, but I really like milestone. It's not
Mhm.
a word that I hear a lot, but it's like a good expression to say about things that you have done. That's it.
Thank you so much, Ebenezer, and I agree with you. Milestone is a beautiful word. We can express things that we achieved with that word. And in my case, I used an expression like is a game changing something. I do not remember what I said, but I used the expression game changing or life changing. It's a word that I normally read in the books that I currently reading, that talks about motivation and all of that stuff. So yeah, that was the expression that I wanted to bring to this moment. And I would like to thank you guys for being here as every single Monday. I believe you are the those who don't try to lose it. And thank you so much for that. And I hope to see you the next Monday. And if you have suggestions about the next topic, you can send me directly on my inbox. And that's it, guys. I wish you, sorry, I wish you a good night. I hope to see you on the next Monday. Bye bye, guys. Ciao ciao.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
good night.